I'm Rad Simon Pillay, sitting in for Elamin Abdelmahmoud. This is Commotion. Take a listen to this.
Little Vaisha had been born with a left eye that only saw the past and a right eye that only saw the future. When little Vaisha grew up and began to talk, she explained that she saw the sky like this. And even though her eyes were open, like those of any sighted person, it was as though Vaisha was blind.
That's a bit of Blind Vaisha, a short film by Montreal-based animator Theodore Ushev. The film earned Theodore an Oscar nomination in 2017, and it recently achieved another milestone. It became part of a permanent collection dedicated to Canada's National Film Board at the newly opened Museum of Animated Film in Annecy, France. Theodore joins me now to talk about what this honor means for him and what this exhibit means for the visibility of NFB animation around the world. Welcome to the show, Theodore.
Thanks for inviting me.
Listen, so you've been making films for over 25 years. You've received a lot of awards and accolades, including the Oscar nomination that I mentioned there. But now you have these two films, Blind Vaisha, which we heard off the top there, and Demoni from 2012. They're both being inducted into this new NFB permanent collection at the Museum of Animated Film in France. So I'd love to know, where does this rank in terms of your list of achievements?
It's probably my best achievement that I'm very proud of. Actually, the museum is of the history of world animation. It's not only about NFB. So being part of this museum means a lot for me. It means a lot for the organization that I crafted a lot of my films there, National Film Board of Canada. And also means that somehow we left a little trace into the history of this great art animation.
Okay. Well, listen, this exhibit, it is featuring, as you said, it's an exhibit about all animation, but the NFB exhibit in particular features 20 different works, but there's two of those films are yours, right? And so obviously, the NFB has like a massive archive of animated shorts to choose from. And so I'm just curious, what do you know about the selection criteria and why two of your films were chosen, these two films in particular?
3 years ago, I did the Museum of Modern of Art in Le Château d'Annecy. In Annecy, did a retrospective of my works. So that they asked me if they can include two of the films presented there at this retrospective exposition. And after that, they just choose two of those films because they were like more general public. They're like family films. They're very, very family oriented. Kids can watch it and their parents. And somehow I think that it's like a kind of milestone in my career, those little films. And on top of this, they present very particular techniques because, in the animation is very important, the technique that you choose. And one of them, the Demoni, is using the cinema tool like zoetrope and phenoketoscope. And the other, Blind Vaisha, it was done doing lino cuts and prints. And on top of it, it was stereoscopic. So there, not only lino cuts and prints, but also stereoscopic 3D frames from the film. So probably that's why. And on top, they achieved some glory, or I don't know what. But I don't see this as my personal achievement. Yesterday I was watching the great win by our soccer team in the World Cup, and I was thinking, okay, we at NFB, we are like a soccer team. We are like a Team Canada, because on my films it was there were many producers and many other artists, the sound designer, and I'm absolutely grateful to the work that we did together with my producer Marc Bertrand, Christine Noël, my sound designer Olivier Calvert. We there, as animator, we are friends and we are working together. And if one scores a goal, it's like a win for every one of us. It's really like a feeling of teamwork in the NFB. And on the top one, of course, scores the goal. It has to do it, but the feeling is like exactly like in a soccer match.
I mean, I've speaking of what you're saying, like I've of course heard of the NFB being described as a family. You're all working together as a family there. I do want to talk. I mean, we only have a couple minutes left here, Orla, but I do want to talk about discounting your own personal involvement in this new museum. Why is the opening of this animation museum important to you and your whole industry?
I think it's the first museum of this kind, or at least it's the biggest, because the Annecy is the capital of the animation. So everyone who goes to this festival once a year is going to see this museum. So the works, the films presented there, they're going to stay. If they stay, like, they're going to stay forever. There'll be generation after us that they're going to pass by and see the frames and the paintings, and they're going to watch the films, and they're going to talk about those films, which means like it goes a little bit beyond of this being awarded just in one festival or just being nominated for an Oscar. So the thing is that the manual work, the manual craft that you put into those films, because at NFB we are very strong at this, it's going to stay. In the age of artificial intelligence, the manual is going to stay. This is what I believe. And artifacts are going to stay, and they'll be exposed in this museum for years and decades, and that's it. So that's why what we did at NFB and the expositions of all the works done in NFB on this permanent, it's a permanent exposition. It's not only temporary. It's going to stay at this museum. So it's very important that the Canadian content is there, and our Canadian own stories, which are that we taught the world out there.
So Theodore, I want to pick up on something you just said there. Like, is it a coincidence that this museum is opening at a time when there is a lot of fear over how AI is going to impact the industry?
Probably it's a coincidence. But in the animation world, we've been always very, very conscious about the jobs, the solidarity, and but of course it's been always a question of achievement, how the film is good. If the fear, yes, I think that this year festival with Annecy, the fear about the future of industry was very present, of course. But it was this feeling that the craft and the talents are never going to disappear, because what is going to stay is the human touch, how well we tell the story. The technology has been coming and going. It's been a never-ending story. But the museums are for reminding us that at some point there is this craft that's been built for centuries, because this is what animation is about. And it doesn't matter if new technologies are just going to help the films get better. This is what I think. And because at the end of the day, this is what counts, the story, and if the film comes from the heart, and if it touches the spectators and the public.
Well, listen, Theodore, thank you so much for kind of walking us through all of this. And again, congratulations on this really incredible honor.
Thank you very much.
Theodore Ushev is a filmmaker based in Montreal. He joined us from Sofia, Bulgaria. 2 of his films, Demoni and Blind Vaisha, are now part of the permanent NFB collection at the Museum of Animated Film in Annecy, France. And that's it for the podcast today. I'm Rad Simon Pillay, sitting in for Elamin Abdelmahmoud, and I will see you tomorrow.